In this video, I'm gonna discuss what is cross-region replication, how its implementation architecture works, and when we should use it. I'm also going to discuss how we can enable versioning in S3. All that stuff, this is coming up. What is going on, developers? Welcome to the AWS Associate series on my channel. On my channel, I post videos about software development, cloud computing, productivity, and tips and tricks. And if you are interested in this kind of videos, you can subscribe to my channel. That would help both of us grow. Alright, let's get into it. So what is cross-region replication? Well, cross-region replication is a feature that replicates the data from one bucket to another bucket, which could be in a different region. This is what cross-region replication means. Then it also provides asynchronous copying of objects across buckets. Suppose bucket 1 is a source bucket and bucket 2 is a destination bucket. An object which is uploaded to bucket 1 gets automatically duplicated into bucket 2, and that is located in a different AWS location, and this is how cross-region replication works. Now let's see what are the features of cross-region replication. Well, the first one is it helps seamlessly copy object from an S3 bucket in another specific location to another location's S3 bucket, right? It can be implemented only when both the buckets have their versioning feature enabled. And when an object is being copied from one bucket to another, data is encrypted with the help of SSL to an object to protect it from any attacks. And if data which is being copied from source bucket is already present in the destination bucket, this data doesn't get replicated even if the operation is performed. This way the redundancy of any data is not stored, right? Then when we should actually use this cross-region replication? Well, it based on three main factors. The first one is but before that, let's understand why we use it, right? So S3 cross-region replication, or the CRR, is used to copy objects across Amazon S3 buckets in different AWS regions, right? And the CRR, or the cross-region replication, helps in three different ways, and this three difference is the only situation when we should use it. The first one is meet compliance requirements. Although Amazon S3 stores our data to across multiple geographical distant availability zones by default, that means the availability zones are very far away from each other, and compliance requirements might dictate that we store the data at even greater distance. Cross-region replication allows to replicate the data between distant AWS regions to satisfy these requirements, right? Then there's minimal latency. If customers are in two totally geographical locations, you can minimize the latency in accessing objects by maintaining object copies in AWS regions that are geographically closer to your users. Let's say you're living in Mumbai, right? And you have a data in Mumbai region in S3 bucket, so obviously you'll get it faster than any other region, right? So this is what this minimize latency means. Then the last topic is increase operational efficiency. If you have compute clusters in two different AWS regions that analyze the same set of objects, you might choose to maintain objects copies in those regions. Now these are the situations when you should consider cross-region replication. Now let's see how the implementation architecture works. So the cross-region replication, or CRR monitor, which automatically monitors the replication status of Amazon S3 objects across all accounts in AWS regions, right? The diagram that you're seeing presents the architecture you can automatically deploy on your AWS while working with CRR monitors. This diagram is more like a full-fledged template that you can make use of when implementing your own CRR, but obviously you'll modify it according to your application needs, right? So I'll just go through this, how this actually works. So let's say this is our object, and when an object is added to the source Amazon S3 bucket, then the Amazon CloudTrail logs that event data and then triggers an Amazon CloudWatch event rule that publishes a message to the Amazon SQS. Okay, and then it stores that message into the source buckets region. And then let's say this object is stored at the AP south one, then uh, that rule is stored in this same region, right? And then what happens, like an Amazon SQS queue subscribed, this Amazon SQS queue subscribed to the Amazon SNS topic receives the message for further processing. After the object replication to the destination bucket is successful, that means when this object is processed further to this destination bucket, at that point of time the information of status, that the status information is sent back to this Amazon SQ service or this one, right? Then this SQ service, what it does, a CloudWatch event automatically invokes this CloudWatch event automatically invokes a Lambda function, which is this one, okay, to read the message from the SQS. This SQS that yes, the source bucket replication has been done to the destination bucket, and that information is updated via this AWS Lambda to this DynamoDB table. Okay, and this is how this actual process works, and this is the same destination bucket that this is one, right? So this is how it works. So this destination bucket can be from another one, like for example, this is the object that is going to this one, but like this is a destination bucket that is coming from this one. So this is how it also works. Like it's a two-way situation, that you can also replicate a bucket that is in account 2 from this account 2 to account 1 bucket, and then you can do that same for the account 1 to account 2 bucket. So this is how this cross-region replication works, right? Now in this walkthrough, what I'm going to discuss is that I'll just discuss how the source bucket to the destination bucket works. Let's just see how that works in this video walkthrough, right? So let's see the architecture of the walkthrough that I'm going to display in this video. So let's say this is our source bucket that is hosted on AP South 1, which is Mumbai region, okay? And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a replication rule for this bucket, and then I'll upload a object to this bucket, this source S3 bucket, okay? And then I'll replicate that same bucket, which is the destination bucket, which is in Ohio. Then I'll just replicate the bucket, and when that replication does successful, then I'll send a message to the SQS, and then I'll say that okay, this bucket replication is successfully done. So this is how I'll go through this walkthrough. Let's just see how I can implement that in the AWS console, right? So first I'll create a S3 source bucket, and then I will enable the versioning for the source bucket, and then I'll enable the cross-region replication and add the rule for the source bucket that I just described while showing how I will do in this video, right? And then I'll create a S3 target bucket, and then I'll enable the versioning for that target S3 bucket, and then I'll just end this lab, right? So first what I'll do, I'll just go to S3 and I'll create the source bucket. So I'll just go to S3, I'll click on create bucket. Now I'll give the name as YTTute, okay? And then I'll choose the region as the Asia Pacific Mumbai, and then it is AP South 1, okay? And then I'll untick this one, the block all public access, and then I'll click on this one, which is saying that I accept the I acknowledge that the current settings might result in this bucket and the objects within becoming public, right? So I'll just click on that, and here's the thing, that bucket versioning, I'll enable that. Keep in mind, without enabling the bucket versioning, we cannot enable CORS or the CRR, and I'll just leave everything default, and then I'll hit the create bucket, and this is how we can create a bucket with the versioning, right? And now we'll create the target bucket. For that, in the S3 dashboard, which is right now, I'll just create this create bucket button. Here again, I'll choose another bucket name like bucket 2, okay? This is the bucket 2 that will be our target bucket, okay? Remember this name, bucket 2 is our target bucket, and I will choose the region as Ohio, okay? And then again for the same, I'll just untick this one, then again acknowledge this one. Without this one, we'll get an error. Let's see the error, right? So I'll just again untick that, and also untick this one, and we'll enable the bucket versioning, and then we'll create the bucket. And this is the error that we will get, that you must select the checkbox to continue creating the bucket. So if we turn off the block all public access, we need to click on this. That will say this, yes, we agree to this one. Okay, and now just let's create the bucket. Okay, bucket name already exists, so I'll just say bucket for, okay, bucket for CRR. Okay, and I'll just create bucket. Again, it says bucket name must not contain uppercase. Okay, so you're seeing these are the errors that you might get, so keep in mind these errors. So create bucket. Okay, so both the buckets are enabled. So this is the YouTube tute, this is the source bucket, and this one is the target bucket, right? So now we need to enable the replication for our source bucket and add the rule that we will need to replicate that, right? So for that, I'll just go to the source bucket and click on management. Let's just go down and see the replication rules. Yep, this one. This is where we need to make the modification. So I'll hit the create replication rule. So the replication rule, like CRR to CRR to target bucket. Okay, and now we'll see the status. We'll make it enabled. That means whether the rule will be enabled or disabled when created. So we'll make it enabled, right? So whenever this rule is created, it will automatically be enabled, right? And here we need to choose the rule scope. Where is that? This one. This rule applies to all objects in the bucket. We'll make this one enable, and here under the destination we'll choose the bucket, and we will choose a bucket in the S3 account. We'll see browse S3, and here we can see both the buckets, and we'll choose the target bucket, which is the bucket for CRR. This will be a target bucket, right? And now we need to choose path, right? And this will select the destination region. So what I'm doing, I'm just creating a rule that will take from the source bucket, which is the source bucket name YouTube tutorial, and then this destination bucket, which is the US East Ohio. This is the target bucket, right? And now here's the thing, that we need to create a new Iem role which will do this job, right? So if we do not have the Iem role, so what we can do, we can create one, right? So what we will do, we'll create a new Iem role that will enable this replication rule. So we'll just hit create new role, right? So this will create the new role, and then under the encryption section we need to select the replicate objects encrypted with AWS KMS, right? And we'll just enable that and select the alias, which is this one, AWS/S3. This is the alias that we need to click on. So this what it will do actually, well, this is the AWS KMS keys for decrypting source bucket objects. So this will be used to encrypt and decrypt whatever the bucket object there is, and then replicate that to the our source bucket. So this is how this will work, right? And then under the destination storage, which means this one, what we'll do, we'll change the storage class for replicated objects and choose one zone IA, right? So this is the destination storage, and we'll click on the change the storage class for the replicated objects. We'll choose this one, okay, and then we'll choose the one zone IA, right? This is IA means infrequent access, so one zone infrequent access. And this one is designed for long-lived infrequently accessed, which is the IA, and non-critical data, right? So this will be used for whatever the data we have, and that is for non-critical data, right? And then we just need to leave whatever there is for default, but you can also additional replication options. There are like a replication time control. You can also control the time. You can also control the metrics and see the notification. You can also delete marker replication, replica modification sync. So these are the options that you might choose, like after having the basic understanding with the CRR. But for this tutorial, I don't think it is necessary. I'll just move and click save, right? So this will create that rule, and now we need to navigate to the source bucket and upload an object, right? So I'll just go to the YTitude, and this is the page, and I'll just upload what just a object to show you, so you can upload whatever you want. So I'll just upload an object. So I just uploaded a PNG image, and then we need to navigate to the target bucket. But before that, we need to upload this one, right? So I just selected and task ID, and so I just selected in PNG image, and then I just need to upload this. So that will upload. Yes, upload succeeded. So I've successfully uploaded a PNG image, and then what I need to do, I need to go to the target bucket, right? So for that, I'll just go to I'll just close this one, and then I'll go to Amazon S3, and this is the target bucket for CRR, right? Here we need to make some changes that currently we'll see nothing, but it may take like 3 to 5 minutes for the replication, and so we'll just wait for that, right? So let's just wait couple of minutes, and then we'll just see like that same file will replicate over here, right? If I refresh, you see that thing is over here. So that same file that we just uploaded on the our source bucket, that is replicated to our target bucket. So this is how the replication works, and this is very simple. So these are the things that you need to do when when creating a CRR or the cross region replication, right? And we have also seen how we can enable versioning. It's pretty simple, right? So I hope you understood how to enable and set up a cross region replication and versioning in S3. So if you like the video, please let me know in the comment section. I'd love to hear you from you. And yep, that's been it. See you in the next video. If you like this video, please subscribe. Bye.